Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Here's How I Blackboarded. This time we'll be tackling some Sunken Columns chimps. Now this map is kind of strange. If you didn't actually know, this map was inspired off Basalt Columns from Battles 2. There definitely is a kind of striking similarity between this one and Sunken Columns. They even name kind of similar. But anyways, this map is a bit strange. Not because it's based off Battles 2, but because it's kind of definitely is a weird map to kind of build a strategy on. There's not really kind of a lot of good land spaces. It's really kind of here and here are kind of your best options for kind of land-based defense, which you kind of have to go for as your water options aren't really that good. There's these down here, but I mean, they get blocked by line of sight, so there's no Pirate Lord action being done here. And even then, if it wasn't blocked by line of sight, it wouldn't be that good anyways, because you'd only be able to attack one lane at a time. And so your kind of options are to put your defense either back here or up here. Thankfully this map is kind of sort of long, so I mean you do kind of have kind of options. What I'm going to be going for this time is going to be Perma Spike and Sky Shredder. Both of these tier 5s are pretty good, although they are pretty expensive, so saving up for both of them is going to be a bit of a tall task, but I think we can do it. Bringing Sada just to really help out with the early game. I couldn't really think of any other hero that I'd actually kind of want to bring here, so I figured Sada would probably be a safe bet. Anyway, so let's just get Alchemist on her right quick. Alchemist Sada is pretty decent for the early game. Then we're going to be transitioning into ODS as well as Deadly Spike for mid game. Then for round 63 defense, I'm actually going to be going for Perma Spike. We are able to save up enough money by then. It's just kind of tight. Definitely isn't really kind of a lot of money to work with to save up for 63, so that's where Sada's abilities are going to come in handy here. So after we get this, we can go straight for Spike Factory and we should be fine up until then. We're going to be putting, our main DPS options kind of down here. We're going to reserve the space up here for kind of support options. All right, let's get ours back here. Then we're going to upgrade this into, I think I'll go for long life before I think I'll go for long life, then I'll go for our ace monkey. Then leads this round should be pretty easy with Sada and Alchemist, and if leads do get by, I always have Sada's leaping sword ability I could use. Hopefully 27 won't be too bad because I don't really want this guy to eat up spikes. Right, so we got that down. I'm gonna start placing down the ace. And then I think Sada and Spike Factory can tank all camos up until we actually get Perma Spike, because I can't really spend too much money in order to actually be able to afford Perma Spike. That's why I didn't actually cross path this Alchemist, because if I do that, I will be a tad bit short. So that's kind of the kind of money optimization I had to make to beat this. This isn't really a tough map by any stretch of the imagination. It's just kind of awkward to kind of play on. I'm gonna get Fighter playing up for kind of round 40, and then just kind of hope that this guy can tank the mob. And if I do pop the mob before we actually reach Sada, I do have Leaping Sword, which does one-shot Cerams at this point. All right, let's get that. Then I think I can start saving up for kind of Deadly Spike. And after a Deadly Spike, I'll get Operation Dartstorm. And then really that's kind of it. We're going to get Alchemist, and then we're just going to kind of save up for Perma Spike. And then once we get to round 61, 62 is when we're going to start utilizing Sada's Sword Charge and Leaping Sword abilities. Just to be able to kind of afford Perma Spike by 63. Alright, pretty easy. Alright, let's get this. Let's get Alch down. Let me get Alchemist in a place where it'll kind of buff the spike before it gets the thing, so I'll get this here. This will also help out for any leads that kind of pass through Sada. We are going to cross past this. Then we're going to get Operation Dartstorm, and that's really all we're going to get up until 63. So really, Sada's a main kind of role here, aside from early game. It's definitely going to be mid-game help. So we're kind of going to want to reserve the spike pile as much as we can, especially when it comes to Moab rounds as well. As even though ODS does do good Moab damage, if there's a Moab that comes from this lane that goes here and then the other lane that comes here, ODS is going to have a tough time kind of getting both, so we're going to have to rely on Spike Factory to tank some of the Moabs. It can't really tank a whole lot of Moabs, but one or two Moabs and it's fine. Now, just like any chimp join, I think the hardest part of this map is definitely is the early game. Thankfully, Sada exists, so I mean, it's not really too bad, but I guess if you want to do something other than Sada, might have a little bit of a tougher time, although I think a triple dart star wouldn't be too bad. Corvus would also be pretty decent on this map. I feel like his being able to at least shut down one lane would be pretty powerful, as well as having the, the OP overload ability. But we're gonna have fun here, so we're gonna do something other than Corvus, even though I haven't really put Corvus much on this channel. Now, something about the strategy is that we're not gonna be really fully utilizing Permaspike up until we actually get Sky Shredder, just because we kind of need to get Sky Shredder kind of ASAP to help break down, tough mob class balloons. I could definitely lean heavily into kind of Permaspike synergy, and I think that would work pretty well in this map, but I don't really feel like sitting here for like 10 minutes stalling each and every round. As you can see, the spike pile is definitely getting a bit small. So let me utilize this. 55 was a problem round when I did some testing on this, but thankfully you can get through it with like minimal micro. But you definitely do want to one-shot those ceramics from the mob. We are going to have to use Sword Charge on round 59 for the kind of camo leads. Thankfully we do get that ability up like just in time for that round. This guy can't hit camo leads, and Sada is not going to be able to get them all. Sniper, of course, can't see camo at this stage. Alright, so we got that. And as soon as that ability comes up, we want to use it ASAP. I'll use this just a bit early to kind of save stuff, as we do kind of want as many spikes as possible for the BFB on round 60. ODS is going to be able to pop all the BFBs, or pop the BFB down, but it's going to struggle against the mob. So let me use this to end this off. And we're only like 2k away from P-Spike. 61 and 62 is going to be a bit of a tough round. I think we'll have P-Spike up for 62, which is great, but 61, we don't have it immediately. So you're definitely going to use Star Charge here. When is the question? I think I'll use it. If I use it now, I do get P-Spike. Perfect. And so that means we do have spikes built up for 63, so 63 shouldn't be an issue. Now that we got this, now I'll upgrade this to stronger stim, so that way it can throw the buff on the Permaspike as well as the Ace. And then I'll crosspath this guy so Sada has a bit more uptime. I don't really think it's really needed, but I mean, might as well. Or we could just use this to end that off. Alright, we got that. Let's get our village here, so I can get camo on this guy as well as jungle drums. Now I find it kind of crazy that even after like, the numerous nerfs that Permaspike has received over the years, I feel like it's still like an incredibly good tier 5. Like even if you aren't like, going 100% all in to Permaspike synergy, like, like stalling and whatnot, it's still a pretty decent option to get. I can definitely see why Ninja Q kind of wanted to kind of nerf Permaspike again a couple updates back. Although they kind of went a bit too far with that one. 76 is no problem with Sada on the field. Unfortunately, she won't really be too useful once kind of rounds 81 plus come due to Super Cerams. She doesn't actually one-shot ceramics once rounds 81 plus hit. But she can still kind of be helpful for kind of, general mob damage at the front. As you just kind of want to pop everything down as much as we can before it actually hits the Permaspike. As Permaspike can handle like, waves of cerams, although if we start like letting BFBs touch the pile is kind of where we'll start to struggle. We won't get this guy up before 80, but that's fine. We do actually have enough mob damage to at least pop the ZOMG down a little bit. And then Permaspike can easily kind of tank the rest. It's around 14k off the ZOMG here, but that's fine. ODS does actually do enough mob damage to pop the ZOMG down. We actually aren't going to be able to like kind of pop all BFBs, I don't believe. But we'll be kind of decent here. So I think I'll use this ability, and boom, we're fine. I feel like that barely touched the spike pile, although you can't really kind of see it because Alchemist in the Permaspike is kind of blocking the pile. Now we're actually going to be doing kind of slightly better. Actually, I feel like a lot better with rounds 81 plus due to Super Ceramics. If you don't know what Super Ceramics are, basically they have double the HP, but to compensate, they only produce like one child. So a ceramic only pops out one mob. Rainbow pops out, one zebra, and so on and so forth. They do this to reduce lag in the late game, which is definitely kind of helpful. And it kind of inadvertently buffs like some of the towers, as there are it kind of buffs and nerfs towers. Like Crossmaster, if Super Ceramics didn't exist, I feel like Crossmaster would definitely be a lot better. But because it doesn't have any extra ceram damage, it definitely does struggle in Super Cerams. But in the case of Permaspike, I'd say it's more of a buff since there's kind of more. Because since there's less balloons that are being eaten up by the spike pile, it does kind of slightly do better. Now next tower I'm going to go for is kind of Maim. We're just going to be getting support at this point as we don't really need any more damage. We already have enough. Alright, let's get Maim, and then I think I'm going to go for kind of Absolute Zero. Might be a tad bit late, but you know, it kind of is, I think it's fine. Absolute Zero is a pretty good tier 5. And it's not too overly expensive is the thing. This also does kind of help out Sada in a bit, because Sada does do extra damage to kind of frozen and stunned balloons. So there's a plus there. Permaspike can't pop frozen, I don't believe, so we are going to have to be careful to not use Snowstorm or Absolute Zero whenever there's kind of ceramics like kind of on top of the spike pile. As we will definitely kind of suffer a lot of consequences from that. The spike pile would just get absolutely like nuked. DT should be no issue. I'll just kind of use that. Just kind of slow them down so that way Sky Shredder can clean them up. Thankfully these maps are easy enough to where I don't actually have to utilize any Ace Micro. I guess I could if I wanted to, but there's kind of really no point in doing so. Alright, seems like we're going to get this kind of in the middle of 95, which is fine. I'm not really too worried about this round. This should be pretty easy. We'll use it now. And I think we just tank all DTs. Alright, let's get this. This spike pile seems barely affected. And then I think I'll go for a village kind of up top, and then I'll go for Relentless next. I'll get it on this side, even though this is going to throw the buff on the glue instead of Sada. We don't really need Sada too much at this point. Alright, 98, not really too worried about. I think having Absolute Zero and Mob Glue is definitely going to help out a ton. I think I'll kind of skip out on Relentless because I don't really feel like it's kind of needed at this point. I think we're going to do just fine without it. I would like to use Absolute Zero, but I am kind of worried about mistiming. Use it now. I really don't want to freeze ceramics while it's on top of the Permaspike. That'd be really bad. And then just in case, I think I can fit a one of these guys here. And yeah, that's that. Sunken Column Chimps. Not a too terribly difficult map, unlike its kind of Battles 2 variant, although I haven't really played that game in a while, so who knows. Even though this is getting a little bit far, I do believe in the power of Permaspike. And that's that. Pretty easy map, although I will say kind of a bit awkward. Sky Shredder with, 1.2 million pops doing the majority of the damage. Permaspike only put in 138,000, which is kind of surprising. Although I guess it was only mainly tanking ceramics, so I guess that was the case. But I guess if this guy wasn't here, this strategy definitely kind of wouldn't work or just be kind of significantly harder. So yeah, that was that. Pretty easy map kind of overall, even like among the advanced maps. I saw I actually did more damage than P-Spike, but yeah, pretty easy map overall. Do encourage you to try it. And so yeah, that's that. Have a nice day, everyone.